who informed that Altman would be joining to lead a new advanced AI research team. Now, according to data from a Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, the 4G subscriber additions for telecom operators rose to a two-year high at 7.1 million in August. At 3.2 million, Reliance Jio continues to lead the 4G subscriber addition for the sixth straight month. In August, Airtel and Vodafone Idea added 2.6 million and 1.3 million subscribers, respectively. Now, the EPFO has recorded a net addition of 17.21 lakh members in September. Now, this was learned after a statement released by the Union Labour Minister earlier. Among these newly joined members, the age group of 18 to 25 years constitutes nearly 59% of the total new members added during the month. This demonstrates that a majority of the members joining the organized sector workforce of the country are youth who are mostly first-time job seekers. And according to Goldman Sachs, India's real GDP growth will decline marginally to 6.3% in 2024 from the 6.4% estimated for 2023. And the brokerage firm said that the risks around the growth outlook are evenly balanced, but the main domestic risk is emanating as elections are approaching in the April to June quarter of 2024. And Team India was close to winning the ODI World Cup for the third time, but as the aforementioned grit and effort cannot go unnoticed, and it did not. Prime Minister Narendra Modi getting to the Indian team's dressing room after the final encounter against Australia to offer his support and shoulder to the men in blue who were distraught. He consoled Mohammad Shami, who's the leading wicket taker of this edition of the World Cup, and also motivated the men in blue. But sometimes the law of averages catches sooner than you want it to, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Let's set up what's going on. Meanwhile, while there was a fight going on in Ahmedabad for the last 9 days, there's a fight for survival for 41 men. And this evening, this Monday evening, there is some reason to cheer and, of course, light at the end of the tunnel.
टनल रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन को 9 दिन हो चुके हैं। आज जो वर्टिकल बोरिंग होनी है वहां तक सड़क पहुंचाने का काम लगातार जारी है।
These machines, as we have been reporting since morning, that will be used for vertical drilling. Now remember, it at least need to dig through 90 meters of the mountain to reach anywhere close to the place where these people are stuck.
Several days of uncertainty. 41 workers from Uttarkashi in Uttarakhand still remain trapped. In fact, at about 5:30 p.m. on Monday, the first piece of good news came in after 9 days. A 57-meter lifeline pipe had finally been drilled through to bring relief to the workers. The authorities have now started to supply food and other essentials to the workers via large diameter pipes through the debris. A team of army engineers have been kept on standby, and efforts are still on to build an access road to the top of the hill above the Sikyara tunnel for initiating vertical drilling to reach 41 workers. Now, earlier in the day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi again spoke to Chief Minister Pushkar Dhami, took cognizance and an update on the situation. Union Minister Nitin Gadkari also reviewed the rescue operations at the site and assured cooperation. In fact, a 5-plan strategy has actually been devised for the ongoing rescue ops. So let's try and understand what is causing the delays, and let's try and understand why. The first reason why there are delays is that there is falling debris. Now, one side of this mountain is loose soil, the other side is hard rock, because these are the newer formations of the Himalayan ranges. The head of the International Tunneling Organization is also on ground, Mr. Diggs, who's trying to help them. And one of the reasons he said is this is the issue. Now this can increase in build-up. That means you would try and clear some area and more debris would fall and further block the access. Second reason is that machines are breaking down. Now, that's why they've now got culverts to ensure that whatever debris, if something crumbles, doesn't fall on the machines and damage the machines. In fact, 2 days have been lost on only trying to remove one of the machine and to set up another access, get another machine in, and of course, use another route, which the BRO in a day has actually completed about 700 meters of road. Now, it takes time to transport machines. The fourth reason is also mountain terrain, which is very, very troublesome. And the fifth reason, that it's tough drilling through rocks, which are an obstacle. On the one hand, you have loose soil. On the other hand, you've got rocks. So both make it a very, very tough job to negotiate, because one is very hard to crack and the other one is very loose, and it could really have a cascading effect and a huge crumble down, and could actually cause further damage and perhaps harm to the 41 workers who are stuck. Let us also now try and give you some of the latest details about the rescue operations and what is currently happening inside at that Sikyara tunnel. 41 laborers who are currently trapped at about 260 meters inside the tunnel. That's what we know. The debris is up to about 70 meters. There's a buffer room for about 2 kilometers. Now, a 6-inch diameter pipeline has been laid in to supply food to those trapped inside. Let's try and also take a look at the 5-plan strategy of the rescue operations. What are the various actions that are going to be taken? Action 1 is a 900 millimeter steel pipe is continuously going to supply oxygen to the laborers who are stuck at about 200 meters. Now, along with the oxygen supply that's actually coming in, this is a 4.5 kilometer tunnel. You've got first action is an oxygen pipe that's going to continuously supply oxygen. They're also now trying to send in data cables so that the laborers inside can talk to their loved ones and help them stay mentally calm and focused. The second action plan is the debris has been cleared up to about 20 meters out of the 60 meters of debris. So they'll continue to clear this portion. They'll try and continue clear and get closer and clear that road. It's not easy. It's going to be tough. The other part, the third action, drilling is underway from the Sikyara side, which is about 2,340 meters away, because this is again 2.5 kilometer gap. So that's why there is enough space for the 41 rescuers, but there's nowhere to go. Drilling has also been on from about 1,750 meters from the Barcode side. So there is another drilling that's going on here. And the fifth action, there is a large diameter pipe that's been inserted right from the top. It's actually being done from the top. And it's been inserted to supply food. And that, many believe, ladies and gentlemen, cutting through this hard rock, through that pipe, they will widen that and try and get right up to the workers and try and winch them up, haul them up. That's what we are going to given to understand is being seen as the most possible or plausible form of rescue, and that should happen over the next 2 or 3 days. Fingers crossed on that. But rescue hopes are pinned on vertical drilling. That's why I said that's what's going to happen over the next 2-3 days, which officials say may offer the fastest way to reach the stranded workers. So the road to the top of the hill was actually laid in a single day, and commendations to the BRO, the Border Road Organization, for doing this. They aided the construction of this road and made it happen within a day. It is a 700-meter track that's been built for transportation of really heavy machines, the rigs that are actually going to drill through. Then a vertical shaft will now be dug down directly into this tunnel. This method is considered to be the fastest way to rescue the 41 trapped worker laborers. So let's hope and pray all goes according to plan, because it's hard, solid rock right at the top, the initial layers. But what's beneath that, they're still looking at it. And then you come to the tunnel, which they also have to crack open and create a hole wide enough so that they can actually get a winch in or a pulley in and then haul the laborers one by one. It's going to be a tough job. Let's take a look at this ground report that's been sent by Sunil Navprabhat on the rescue operations. This is the latest update, ladies and gentlemen.
सिलक्यारा टनल रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन का 9वां दिन एक बड़ी उम्मीद, एक बड़ी खबर लेकर आया। रेस्क्यू एजेंसियां उस पाइप को ब्रेक थ्रू करने में सफल रही हैं, जिसके वो 2 बार पहले भी प्रयास कर चुकी थी, लेकिन उनको सफलता नहीं हासिल हुई थी। 6 इंच का 57 मीटर लंबा पाइप मलबे के आर पार हो चुका है, यानी कि दूसरी ओर जो श्रमिक फंसे हुए हैं उन तक ये पाइप पहुंच गया है। ये सिर्फ एक 6 इंच का पाइप नहीं, बल्कि ये हम कह सकते हैं कि लाइफ लाइन है उन इस पूरे महा ऑपरेशन की, उन 41 श्रमिकों की जो दूसरी ओर फंसे हुए हैं। इस पाइपलाइन के जरिए जहां अब पर्याप्त मात्रा में फूड मटेरियल उन लोगों तक भेजा जा सकेगा, वहीं कम्युनिकेशन में आसानी होगी। इसके साथ साथ कुछ छोटे कैमरे भी वहां इंसर्ट किए जा सकते हैं, इस पाइप के जरिए भेजे जा सकते हैं, जिससे इन श्रमिकों को हम लाइव देख पाएंगे। इसके साथ ही इस पाइप के इंसर्ट होने से एक अलाइनमेंट भी फिक्स हो गया है कि अगर इसी अलाइनमेंट पर हम 900 मीटर के जो पाइप डाल रहे थे उनको डालें तो वो सीधे इस मलबे के आर पार हो सकते हैं। आज जैसे ही ये पाइप ब्रेक थ्रू हुआ, इस पूरे ऑपरेशन में लगे इंजीनियरों के, श्रमिकों के चेहरे खुशी से खिल उठे। पिछले 9 दिनों में ये पहला मौका था जब ऑपरेशन साइट पर जो चेहरे मौजूद हैं उनके चेहरों पर कोई मुस्कुराहट या खुशी की लहर देखी गई। इसके साथ ही जो तमाम एजेंसियां हैं, चाहे वो सतलुज जल विद्युत निगम हो, चाहे TSDC हो, चाहे RVNL हो, उन्होंने अपने काम में तेजी लाना शुरू कर दिया है और अगले 1 से 2 दिन में आपको इस महा ऑपरेशन में और भी तेज गति से काम होता हुआ नजर आएगा।
Yes, all hopes are up, ladies and gentlemen. 2 more days. In the next 48 hours, we should have some major breakthrough and some really good news for all of us, and some cheer that will bring us some smile and, of course, relief to those families of the 41 laborers who are stuck inside. Meanwhile, talking about interesting developments or important developments that shift focus and set up the debate on this edition of The Right Stand. A major crackdown by the Uttar Pradesh government led by Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, banning items with halal certification in the state with immediate effect. Meat, certain medicines and some cosmetics are exempt, as are exports. This ban comes after the Lucknow police cracked down against a few organizations following an FIR that was filed by a member, and action was taken based on that FIR. And this was for allegedly exploiting people's religious sentiments to boost sales by providing forged halal certificates. At least 4 organizations were booked under criminal conspiracy, promoting enmity between different groups, extortion and cheating. But let's try and take a deeper look into the government's rationale. In a statement, the state government has alleged malicious attempts by a few to weaken the nation. The state government warned of strict legal action against any individual or firm engaged in the production, storage, distribution, buying and selling of halal certified medicines, medical devices and cosmetics within Uttar Pradesh. Now here is what they said and on why the ban was needed. The first claim is that there is unrestrained propaganda that's being disseminated. The second claim, discouraging use of goods without halal certificate. Third, harms the business interests of other communities. Fourth claim, pre-planned strategy to sow hatred, create divisions. Claim 5, unfair financial benefits to a certain class. The sixth claim is that halal certification as a parallel system creates confusion. Now, in order to differentiate halal items from non-halal ones, a certificate is being issued for halal products, informing the consumer that the product meets the standards. But what makes it a grey area? Well, let me first tell you, history says that it all started because of certain slaughterhouses and butchers in England, in the United Kingdom. And that's where the certification started, and it was supposed to be limited only till there. But over the last few decades, it's become a global operation that runs into billions of dollars, ladies and gentlemen. The government doesn't mandate, our government doesn't mandate halal certification. In Bharat, there is no unifying regulatory law or official regulator. The FSSAI, that's the body that will actually certify products whether they are safe for consumption or not. Private companies are issuing halal certificates in Bharat. In 1974, halal certification started in our country for meat. In 1993, the certification extended to other products. And there is no body that actually mandates this, governs this, or even specifies this. There is no specific labeling need for imports into our country. So the question is, if this is an organization and this is a racket that's being run, a money-making racket, and also that is actually sowing harm in society and misleading sections of society, and there is brazen profiteering, then is this ban that is now in Uttar Pradesh, should it now be extended to other states, and should other states follow? That's the question that we ask. Let's dive into the debate straight up. Manish Shukla of the BJP joins us on debate number 1.
Hello, Moto.
Manish Shukla of the BJP with us, and Vivek Silas of the Samajwadi Party with us. We should have author and film producer Harry Sikka joining us. He, along with a few others, have taken up this issue long back and been fighting against halal certification for many years. In fact, I remember back in 2017, 2018, they had made a representation to the UP government to take this seriously too. But what prompted this now, Manish ji? Namaste and Jai Hind, Manish ji and Vivek. Thank you.
जय हिंद।
तो मनीष जी बताइए, व्हाट्स प्रॉम्प्टेड दिस सडनली?
देखिए, लगातार राज्य में ये शिकायतें मिल रही थी कि हलाला सर्टिफिकेट के उत्पादन को प्रदेश में बेचा जा रहा है। जो एनजीओज और जो संस्थाएं इसको सर्टिफाइड कर रही हैं, उनको कोई सरकारी नियमों का समर्थन नहीं है। एक उचित दस्तावेज के आधार पर कूटरचित प्रमाण पत्र बनाकर ये कंपनियों को दिया जा रहा था, और जिससे अवैध धन वसूली हो रही थी। जो कंपनियां इनसे सर्टिफिकेट नहीं ले रही थी, उनको धमकी दी जा रही थी, एक वर्ग विशेष के लोग आपके प्रोडक्ट को नहीं खरीदेंगे। दरअसल ये इसमें 3-4 सवाल खड़े हुए। एक तो ये जो एक्सरसाइज थी, ये बाजार पर एकाधिकार स्थापित करने के लिए साजिश की जा रही थी। अन्य वर्गों के रोजगार पर भी हमला था, और साथ ही साथ हवाला उत्पादन में जो ये लोग प्रमाण पत्र दे रहे थे, क्या इनके पास कोई ऐसी तकनीकी है जो भोज्य पदार्थों को सर्टिफाई कर सकते हैं? चूंकि केंद्र सरकार की एक एजेंसी है FSSAI, जो तकनीकी रूप से ये तय करती है कि जो कंपनी जो प्रोडक्ट बना रही है उसमें क्या चीजें मिलाई गई है, वो जो लिख रहे हैं वही मिला रहे हैं कि कुछ दूसरा मिला रहे हैं। और बात ये थी कि उससे जो पैसे की उगाही हो रही थी, वो पैसा कहाँ जा रहा है, उसका प्रयोग कहाँ हो रहा है, और सरकार ने FIR दर्ज की और उसको बैन किया है उत्तर प्रदेश में।
विवेक सिलास?
Yes. First of all, Anand, very good evening. Let me clarify it first that whatever is happening, fine, but there are many issues, serious issues, important issues that has to be handled by the state of Uttar Pradesh. There are other important things to handle in the state. It seems that the Bharatiya Janata Party has no other issue except for issues like these to divert and divulge the mind of the people, and we have seen it in the entire country. It's not only in Uttar Pradesh. We have seen it in the entire country in every election. The Bharatiya Janata Party, I think it seems that they try to hide behind the curtain, bringing such issues of religion and caste, etc. And it's nothing new for them. Today, the Honorable CM Yogi Adityanath ji also says that we have surplus of revenue in Uttar Pradesh. So why there is no cheap electricity in Uttar Pradesh? That is the question. Why farmers don't get the DAP, the urea?
जो विषय है उस पे थोड़ा लेट्स डिबेट. व्हाई डू वी हैव टू शिफ्ट द गोल पोस्ट एंड से अच्छा हाँ ये तो कर रहे हो ठीक है, लेकिन इसका क्या, उसका क्या, उसका अगर ये ठीक है तो आप कहिए हम इसका समर्थन करते हैं. अगर आप कह रहे हैं कि नहीं ठीक है तो आप कहिए इट इज रॉन्ग. विवेक सिलास?
As a matter of fact, I said whatever the state government is doing, it's okay, fine. But we as Samajwadis, we need to ask question regarding the basic issues of the common man.
Correct. तो आप समाजवादी हैं तो बेसिक इशू ऑफ द कॉमन मैन ही तो है कि अगर आप एज एन इंडिविजुअल, अगर आपके लिए हलाल मैंडेटरी है क्या, हलाल मीट, और आपको अगर सारे होटल उत्तर प्रदेश में सिर्फ हलाल मीट सर्व करे तो ये आपके धर्म के खिलाफ है कि नहीं है, आपकी मान्यताओं के खिलाफ. एक सिख को इन से फॉर सिख और कई सारे ऐसे समुदाय हैं जिनके लिए हलाल हराम है, पर उनको अगर जबरदस्ती अब हलाल मीट परोसा जा रहा है तो इज दैट फेयर और अनफेयर? ये समाज में कुरीति है, गलत है कि नहीं है? And if there are some of these organizations who in their websites have claimed that they are using the money gained from halal certification to help the terror accused, like in the German bakery blast cases.
Look,
So then,
as far as the Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned, no election or no issue goes except terrorism, except Pakistan, except Shamshan Kabristan, except Eid Diwali. That is what I am trying to explain you, man. I am trying to explain you. So
this is not an issue for the BJP, sir. This is an issue that's been there for decades. मैं तो अब BJP से पूछूंगा, मनीष शुक्ला जी, आप तो दूसरी बार पावर में आ रहे हैं, पहले 5 साल आपको दिखा ही नहीं है. ये मुद्दा तो 2017 से पहले से उठाया जा रहा है. आपके खुद की सरकार को अंडर योगी जी इस पे याचिकाएं दी गई हैं, और एक याचिकाकर्ता अभी थोड़ी देर में जुड़ेंगे हमारे साथ. तो अभी कैसे जाग गया?
नहीं, आपका सवाल दुरुस्त है. और देखिए, हमारी सरकार उत्तर प्रदेश बनने के बाद तमाम हमने ऐसे निर्णय लिए हैं। और देखिए, निर्णय की प्रक्रिया होती है, एक कोई निर्णय 2017-19 मार्च को ही हो सकता है, कोई साल भर बाद लगातार हम लोग इस तरह के निर्णय ले रहे हैं। एक बात मैं कहना चाहता हूँ, आपने बहुत अच्छा सवाल खड़ा किया कि 85% आबादी को आप बाध्यकारी रूप से हलाल प्रोडक्ट खिलाने के लिए समाजवादी पार्टी प्रतिबद्ध है। इनकी बातों से यही लग रहा है। ये जो जमायते उलेमा हिंद है और जमायते उलेमा हिंद है, जमायते उलेमा महाराष्ट्र, मुंबई, तमाम जो संगठन जिनके ऊपर FIR दर्ज की गई है, उनकी साख भारत में क्या है ये बताने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। अभी आज ही पेपर में छपा, लखनऊ के पेपर में छपा है कि जमायते उलेमा हिंद ने कहा है कि वलीउल्लाह जो दोषसिद्ध अपराधी है, आतंकी है, उसका मुकदमा लड़ेंगे जमायते उलेमा हिंद। यानी समाजवादी पार्टी इसका भी समर्थन कर रही है। ये 85% आबादी को जबरदस्ती एक वर्ग के धार्मिक जो प्रैक्टिस है उसको उड़ाना चाहते हैं। देखिए, योगी आदित्यनाथ की सरकार में जैसे जैसे जो विषय सामने आएगा उसको हम एड्रेस करेंगे और उसी क्रम में इसको एड्रेस किया है। दो चीजें और मैं कहना चाहता हूं जल्दी। एक तो देखिए, हमको लगता है तमाम मुसलमान भी ऐसे होंगे जो शहद, टूथपेस्ट, इन तमाम चीजों पे हलाला के माध्यम से जो पैसा वसूली हो रहा है उसका
हलाला नहीं सर, हलाल है, लेकिन नहीं वो स्लिप ऑफ टंग है सर। लेकिन मैं दूसरा प्रश्न आपसे पूछ रहा हूं, पोटैटो चिप्स, आलू की चिप्स पे हलाल सर्टिफिकेशन क्यों है?
यही
जो आप पैकेट्स खरीद रहे हैं, जो आप स्नैक्स खरीद रहे हैं, उस पर हलाल सर्टिफिकेशन क्यों है? यह प्रश्न आज तक किसी ने क्यों नहीं पूछा है सरकार में से? अभी क्यों पूछ रहे हैं?
नहीं, ये तो आपका सवाल तो ठीक है, लेकिन जो कार्रवाई कर रहा है सवाल आप उससे पूछ रहे हैं और एक पक्ष बैठ के आज भी उसका समर्थन कर रहा है। दूसरा बात, मैं एक बात कहूंगा, ये बहुत
देखिए, उन्होंने इसका समर्थन नहीं किया, उन्होंने ये किया आप जो कर रहे हैं ठीक है, लेकिन यही और कोई काम नहीं है कि यही एक काम है, यही आपसे पूछा जा रहा है।
नहीं, मैं एक बात कह रहा हूं,
और अगर ये काम इंपॉर्टेंट था तो 8 साल बाद क्यों किया जा रहा है? 7 साल बाद।
5 सेकंड। अभी मेरे स्लीपिंग ऑफ टंग मैंने हलाला बोला, इन्होंने मेरे मानसिकता पे सवाल खड़ा किया। मैं कहूंगा न उत्तर प्रदेश में हलाल चलेगा, न हलाला चलेगा, न हवाला चलेगा, और सपा खड़ी होती है तो भी हमारी सरकार इस पर कार्रवाई करेगी। ये मेरी मानसिकता पे मत सवाल खड़ा करिए। दूसरी बात, हाँ, आपके सवाल का मैं जवाब दे दूं। देखिए, हमने सबसे पहले उत्तर प्रदेश में तमाम वो कानून बनाए जो देश में नहीं था, और ये एक बड़ा इशू है। तमाम प्रकार की शिकायतें मिलती रही, सरकार ने एग्जामिन किया, हमने FIR सुबह दर्ज किया, रात तक उस पर हमने रोक लगा दी, हमारी सरकार ने रोक लगाई है। जहां तमाम कई अभी 2012 से 17 के बीच इनकी भी सरकार थी, ये तो आज भी बैठ के अगर इनको अवसर मिले तो अगर इनको वोट दिखे तो आज भी ये 85% आबादी को हलाला सर्टिफिकेट चीजें खिलाने के लिए बात।
सर, हलाल सर्टिफिकेट है, हलाला अलग मुद्दा है, उसको तो अभी तक आपने बैन नहीं किया, वो अलग बात है, रहने दीजिए। पर मैं बार बार उस पर मैं आपको नहीं टोकना चाहूंगा, पर थोड़ा ध्यान दीजिए। हरिंदर सिक्का इज विद अस। हैरी सिक्का जी, ना समाजवादी पार्टी, अच्छा एक मिनट रुके, रुके,
विरोधी है।
नहीं, आप दोनों के विरोधी हो, लेकिन मुद्दे पे रहिए, और मुद्दे में आपका ये बार बार स्लिप ऑफ टंग नहीं होना चाहिए। हलाला अलग विषय, जिस पर आज तक उत्तर प्रदेश की सरकार ही नहीं, सेंटर ने भी कुछ नहीं किया है, ठीक है। हलाल पर पिछले 8-9 साल से तो मैं जानता हूं एक्टिविस्ट मांग करते जा रहे हैं, हमने बार बार इस विषय को उठाया। हैरी सिक्का, 2017 इफ आई रिमेंबर, नमस्ते सर, जय हिंद। 2017, if I remember, there was the Hindu Janjagran Samiti, and along with some other petitioners had approached the Uttar Pradesh government and also the centre. You had raised this voice in 2019, 2020. Now they have said that they're going to ban it. What's your first reaction, Mr. Sikka?
देखिए, I don't want to get into why it has got delayed, क्यों देर से आया या आया, but आया जोर से। And इसमें जो कनोटेशंस समझाई गई कि नहीं गई, बट मैं फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल देर से ज्वाइन करने के लिए माफी चाहूंगा। मेरा जहाज अभी लैंड किया है दिल्ली में
जी, धन्यवाद जी।
मुझे डिले हुआ। सो 1,20,000 करोड़ से अधिक रुपया हर साल हलाल टैक्स के रूप में, जो एक जजिया जैसे औरंगजेब लेता था, इस देश में कलेक्ट किया जा रहा है। वो कहाँ खर्च हो रहा है ये किसी को नहीं पता है।
सर, 1,20,000 करोड़ बोल रहे हैं आप? 120,000 करोड़?
जी, 1,20,000 करोड़ से अधिक पैसा हर साल ये हलाल टैक्स बोर्ड, जमायते उलेमा, जमायते इस्लामिया, जमायते महाराष्ट्र, ये सब इकट्ठा कर रही हैं। ये कहाँ जा रहा है? क्यों भुजिया जो है वो हलाल सर्टिफाइड है, अमूल घी हलाल सर्टिफाइड है? तो जब हमने गिरिलाल जी से पूछा कि साहब ये, जब तब मिनिस्टर थे तब वो, कि साहब ये मलेशिया को एक्सपोर्ट घी हलाल घी सर्टिफाइड हो रहा है, क्या चक्कर है? उसके लिए अमूल घी उनको 50 लाख रुपया, 50,000, 1 लाख रुपया हर साल टैक्स भी देती है। हर प्रोडक्ट्स के लिए 1-1 लाख, 20-20 हज़ार डिपेंडिंग ऑन ये टैक्स भी देते हैं। तो ऐसा क्यों है? तो उन्होंने बोला जी, वो मिस्टर सोडी वहाँ के सीईओ थे अमूल के, उन्होंने बोला जी नहीं तो मलेशिया हमसे ना वो प्रोडक्ट लेगी नहीं इंपोर्ट बिना सर्टिफिकेट के। तो उनका बहुत सिंपल सोल्यूशन है, आप उनका पाम ऑयल बंद कर दीजिए इंपोर्ट करना। जैसे ही वो अनाउंस किया कि थ्रेट किया, मलेशिया मान गया कि नहीं जी बिना सर्टिफाइड दे दीजिए। ये एक गेम चल रहा है जिसमें मलेशिया और पाकिस्तान इन्वॉल्व हैं अंडर चेयरमैनशिप। वर्ल्ड वाइड आप हैरान होंगे, $5 ट्रिलियन से ज्यादा की कलेक्शन है, ये सर्टिफाइड है, ये डॉक्यूमेंटेड है। और इंडिया में 1,20,000 करोड़ से ज्यादा की, ये पैसा हलाल गुड्स को विदेश में भी देना पड़ता है और कसाब को बिरयानी भी खिलानी पड़ती है, और इसी पैसे से कपिल सिब्बल के जैसे लॉयर्स भी पेमेंट होती है जिहादियों पर खर्च करने के लिए। और बताते हैं 80% इस देश में हिंदू हैं, ओके, जो कि झटका खाते हैं, जिन्हें अलाउ नहीं है, रहत मर्यादा के खिलाफ है, अलाउड नहीं, हमारे शास्त्रों के खिलाफ है। उन्हें आप बिना बताए हलाल खिला रहे हैं, हलाल मांस खिला रहे हैं, हलाल वेजिटेबल, हलाल मिल्क, हलाल सीमेंट है केरला में आज की तारीख
जी, हलाल घर भी हैं, शरीयत कंप्लायंट हलाल सर्टिफाइड घर।
आप ये बताइए, आप किसी मुसलमान को किसी तरीके से बिना उनके बताए आप झटका मांस खिला सकते हैं? वो आपकी दुकानें जला देंगे। तो वो अपने धर्म के पक्के हैं। हिंदू जाति नपुंसक हो चुकी है, ये मेरा बार बार कहना है। मुंह खोल के बैठ जाते हैं जहां खाने को मिल जाता है नॉन वेज, फिर वो करीम का हो या किसी का हो। आप करीम में जाइए, कितने हिंदू बैठे होते हैं, अपने आप को महापंडित बोलते हैं और वहां बैठ के खाते हैं। तो हमारी जो हड्डियों में ना गुलामी की जंजीर है वो थोड़ी टूटी नहीं है, इसका वो असर नहीं देख रहे। ये जो शादियां हो रही हैं ना, 50,000 रुपया मिल गया दे देते हैं कि हिंदू की लड़की 1 लाख, कोई सिख की लड़की और दिस दैट, ये कौन फंडिंग कर रहा है? मदरसा तो नहीं कर रहे, मुसलमान बिजनेसमैन तो नहीं कर रहे, फिर ये कौन कर रहा है? ये हलाल बोर्ड कर रहे हैं कि नहीं कर रहे? वो अपने किताबों को आपको दिखाने को तैयार नहीं है। वो मैं और आप जीएसटी भरते हैं, वो जीएसटी भरने को तैयार नहीं है। ये जो कांग्रेस ने ये छेड़ी थी, जिसके मुताबिक अपेडा में हर चीज वो हलाल सर्टिफाइड नहीं होगी तो एक्सपोर्ट नहीं होगी। इसका मतलब है 4 से 5 लाख जो हिंदू झटका मीट का काम करते थे वो नौकरी से बाहर कर दिए गए, दुकानें बंद हो गई। 50,000 से ज्यादा ये नाम दिए गए हैं लिस्ट के लोगों को कि ये लोग कन्वर्ट हुए जबरदस्ती, क्योंकि वाल्मीकि समुदाय और दूसरे समुदाय जो ना वो खटीक लोग, वो कहाँ से खाना खाएं, रोजी रोटी चलाएं। FSSAI के अंदर में FSSAI इक्वली इसमें अपराधी है। उनके रूल के मुताबिक में, उनके लॉ में स्टनिंग ऑफ एनिमल्स इंपॉर्टेंट है, मैंडेटरी है। कहाँ होती है स्टनिंग? स्टनिंग हो जाए तो हलाल नहीं है। दूसरा, ये और भी लानत वाली बात है, लानत वाली बात है कि बाबा रामदेव स्वामी और बाबा अपने आप को कहने वाले, गेरुआ वस्त्र पहनने वाले, खड़ाऊ पहन के लकड़ी के और हिंदुत्व की बात करने वाले, अभी एक ऑडियो विजुअल उन्होंने विजुअल में जस्टिफाई किया है कि मौलवी उनके उसमें आता है, प्लांट में आता है, छुपा गए कि वो कलमा पढ़ता है, छुपा गए कि वो मौलवी थूक भी फेंकता है, और फिर वो सर्टिफिकेट देता है, पैसे लेता है, चले जाता है। रामदेव जी, आप जानते हैं कि आप ये जो आपके नाम पे वो ये दिखा के 1 लाख, 20 लाख, 50 लाख और इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट को पकड़ के कि देखो रामदेव भी दे रहा है, कृपा करके ये बंद कर दीजिए। इससे हिंदू जाति, सिख जाति को नष्ट किया जा रहा है और आप उसके रिंग लीडर बने हुए हैं।
सर देखिए हरिशिका जी, I'll tell you what.
एक मिनट और,
yeah, I'll give you that minute, but I'm just going to qualify, sir. You are making the claims and you're citing numbers and you're taking names. me as an individual and we as a channel do not endorse these claims till the time you prove them, and if somebody does decide to take you to court, sir, you have to prove those charges that you're making, the numbers that you're taking
I will
and the
be
names that you're
responsible.
taking. Ji.
I will be responsible.
Ji, please
for
complete
these.
and then Vivek Sala's final word. Yeah.
I will be responsible for my statements. I have requested him repeatedly. I've challenged him. You come to me in a debate or you question me my authorities of what I am saying to you, or let Halal board check me, debate with me or prove me wrong in the court.
Right.
That this is the kind of quantum of money they are collecting illegally. Why airlines are allowed to sell non-vegetarian food to Hindus without telling them that it is halal? It is offense. It is against my religion.
Correct.
It is against my
I understand your logic, sir, and Vivek Salas, I hope you appreciate that if you cannot serve jhatka meat to Muslims because it's against their faith, then the vice versa also applies. You can't serve halal meat to non-Muslims because it's
not
mandated in their
1 minute, 30 seconds. जो यूपी चीफ मिनिस्टर योगी आदित्यनाथ जी ने काम किया है, ये बहुत ही लंबा जाएगा, इसका बहुत गहरा असर होगा. ये पहले होना चाहिए था या बाद में होना चाहिए था, अभी भूल जाइए, हुआ.
तो आप ये कह रहे हैं देर आए दुरुस्त आए. सर, आई एम रनिंग आउट ऑफ टाइम. यस, विवेक Salas. Now, is it as small an issue as you were initially making out to be, Vivek Salas? The dimensions.
No, it was never. I never mentioned that it was a small issue, but as you said that the writ was and the application was given in 2017, and fortunately it was. Or unfortunately, it was the BJP government that was running in 2017. So why they took 8 years? It's the 8th year now, and as far as Mr. Sikka has told, it's ridiculous. It's something very shocking that 1,20,000 crores is involved in this. So where that money is going? It is going to the Bharatiya Janata Party or where? Are they funding the Bharatiya Janata Party? That has to be, that is something that has to be.
Who they are funding as a political entity, we do not have the answers for that. But I can tell you, but I can tell you one thing, Vivek ji. I can tell you one thing. I can tell you one thing, Vivek ji.
Political, you know what?
No, one way. What I can tell you, Vivek ji, is that about a year and a half ago, when we did the story on this halal certification, at that time on the website of one of those entities which has now been pulled up, and which is saying it will go to court, they had put it as a declaration there, the number of cases they were fighting again for terror accused. They were arguing for the terror accused using halal certified money. They had put it all out on display. The day CNN News 18 did that story, the next day they took it off their website. They also took out the disclaimer where they said that they use this money for such cases. So the reality is there, and we have the evidence with us in our archives, and when required, we'll furbish that too. For the moment, I have to move on. Thank you very, very much for joining us in this debate. Hari Sikkaji, Vivek Salas and Manish Shukla. Thank you very much. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, yet another big development that's happened. There was a deliberate attempt by the Dragon to derail strengthening of ties and people-to-people connection between Bharat and Taiwan. Both these nations have now raised the stakes with Jobs Pact, which is in the offing. It's a new era of economic alliance as the Jobs Pact is expected to be signed very soon, despite China-sponsored efforts to sabotage the entire move. Bharat and Taiwan are in talks to sign Labour and Mobility Pact as early as December 2023 to buttress the $790 billion economy of this island nation. Now, ever since the announcement of the pact, there has been a huge backlash online from really dubious handles spewing racist comments against Bharatiya. But according to experts who spoke to News 18, despite China's attempts to derail the progress, Taiwan has taken pains to highlight that the inclusion of migrant workers from Bharat is aimed at addressing a serious worker shortage that Taiwan is facing. Confirmations from the Taiwanese and Bharatiya governments indicate that while the people-to-people link between the two countries needs to be improved, the government of both these nations are in sync when it comes to reaching a pact to accommodate more Bharatiya into Taiwan's workforce. Now, let's try and understand what Taiwan is actually looking for and how Bharat is the answer to Taiwan's human resource crisis. Now, Taiwan has a positive experience with Bharatiya professionals. 5,000 Bharatiya hold white-collar jobs in the tech industry. Taipei is actually looking to cast its net beyond the tech sector because Bharat is a perfect candidate to cater to global demands across all sectors. Taiwan's semiconductor industry is facing critical shortage of talent, and on the other hand, Bharat has over 120,000 semiconductor engineers. Also, Taipei has an aging population. Taiwan has an aging population. And it's this aging population which is also going to seriously impact its available workforce. Bharat can supplement that. Dr. Roger Liu, Associate Professor, Flame University, is with us. Dr. Roger Liu, can you please throw more light on what was being attempted and how important is this pact for both Bharat and Taiwan?
Thank you, Anand. It's very nice to see you here again. I'm based in Taiwan for now, and this for the recent days has become an issue when and the talk of the town when people talk about the coming possible MOU with India regarding the imported labor. And I can tell you, just like you said, well. People in Taiwan actually has growing better and better impression about the Bharatiya laborers here because, well, when people think about Indians here in Taiwan, they think about the engineers work for big tech companies like Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. There are 80 of them for now, as I know, because I just returned from Hsinchu Science Park, and people rely heavily on the Bharatiya engineers working there for now. So what the Taiwanese government doing now, just like you said, is that because the Taiwanese society has been facing an issue of the aging population, so we are going to look for some skillful and capable laborers that can help with the Taiwanese society in different and in a variety of aspects in society. So we are very happy, and the Taiwanese government and the Bharatiya governments are very happy to work together to introduce the skillful Bharatiya laborers. But like you said, the Chinese are not happy to see that. So they have sent out some disinformation warfare in the open internet forum, and by spreading the rumors that about the bad impression of the Bharatiya laborers, and trying to create some kind of so-called social movement against the Taiwanese government's latest policy by highlighting some stereotypes and even racist comments on the internet, trying by instigating the fears among the people by spreading ungrounded rumors. They are trying to generate some, negative feelings about the Taiwanese society.
Right. Now, so what will be the impact? And do you think there will be no racial attacks? There will be no backlash when this process is inked and when workers from Bharat, talent from Bharat arrives in Taiwan?
I don't think so because, well, the Taiwanese society in the first place was very, open to the outsiders. Well, of course, there are stereotypes. There are misunderstandings among peoples. Let's look at the Bharatiya experience. In India, well, the UP Walas versus Maharashtrians is one thing that everybody is talking about, right? Some misunderstandings between Telugu, Tamils, and Kannadigas, all this kind of thing. Actually, in the East Asian or the Asian society, actually people have stereotypes against each other or for each other. But this is very different from the racist, situation. It's totally different. Of course, there are stereotypes, but it's a reflection that the Bharatiya society and the Taiwanese society need to understand each other more. And fortunately, for the past few years, people have accumulated their knowledge about the Bharatiya society by knowing that a lot of skilled workers from Bharat, from India, actually can work at a variety of aspects for the Taiwanese society. I think most of the people have very positive feeling about India and when people refer to India, they always think about this is a country where Buddha comes from. This is a country that produces a lot of great mathematicians and engineers. So this is the mainstream. 99% of the people in Taiwan think about Bharatiya.
No, that's fantastic. Dr. Roger Liu, thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a good time in Taiwan, and we see you back in Bharat very, very soon. I know you ply your wares between both the nations, so good to have you back and on the right stand. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Jai Hind.
We're going to take a short break, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, I was in San Francisco recently and caught up with the founder and a key member of the Hindu American Foundation. For about 3 decades, they've been propping up the Hindu cause in America. And this time around, it's all about the fight against SB 403. Stay with us.
Hello, Moto.
I wanted
where they're doing a smaller hole, 8 inches, which goes in faster.
The rescue operations to take out the workers who are stuck inside the Silkyara tunnel for the last 9 days is ongoing. In fact, it has now been converted into a war footing. Currently, I am standing at a place where you can see these machines that have been brought in. These machines, as we have been reporting since morning, that will be used for vertical drilling. Now remember, it at least need to dig through 90 meters of the mountain to reach anywhere close to the place where these people are stuck. You can look how large is this machine, and hence this machine at this point in time has been put on standby. Why on standby? Because you can imagine that this trolley needs to actually go to the top of the mountain from where the vertical drilling will happen. And how will this trolley reach there? Through the roads that is being made, through the temporary roads that is being made at this point in time by the Border Roads Organization. In the next few hours, we are expecting that the entire road would be built. Post that, this trolley will reach over there. There are some more equipments that have been brought in, which equipments would eventually be actually used to fit into this machine, and post that the entire drilling operation would happen. If I could show you in the visuals over here, these are the kind of machines, heavy duty machines that have now been brought in to dig through the terrain of the Himalayas. We have seen how difficult it is to operate in Himalayas, and these are the machines that will be used to vertically dig through the tunnel and initially put a lifeline pipe which will be approximately of 8 inches, and then it will be used to put the evacuation pipe, and through that it is expected that all these people who are stuck inside will be excavated. How successful will this plan be? That is still a big question mark. But yes, one thing is for sure, that the government and the rescuers are now leaving no stone unturned to make sure that all these people who are stuck inside the Silkyara tunnel for the last 9 days and counting now, they could be taken out at the earliest. When will that happen? That is a big question mark, and the question to this answer at this point is no one ready to answer. We'll wait and watch when will this happen, but yes, the main focus of the rescuers is now to make sure that the food pipe or the lifeline pipe is built in, and post that we can expect that the entire drilling process will start, and finally the rescuers might be brought out. Joining us right now is NHIDCL director. Sir, you have the entire operation is ongoing. You have made a lot of headway as well, sir. What is
On the sidelines of the APEC summit and the IPEF, where Bharat's growth story is being talked about, there is the aspect where Bharat's story itself is being killed, a fight of narratives, ladies and gentlemen. And now I'm in conversation with two people who are in the thick of things, if I may say so. Indian roots, but born in the US, and emergency room surgeon. So he's got a story of his own, but Mihir Minghani is also somebody who's championing the Hindu American Foundation, or the HAF. So you're now getting into advocacy, but you've gotten into the thick of things of those who are trying to push these anti-India narratives. Sangeeta is also the regional director for California with the HAF. Thank you very much for your time. So let's get talking and let's look at the core issues. First up, why the Hindu American Foundation? What was the need for it? And you're born here in the US, so why did you feel the need to start this? I know Suhag Shukla is with you, so I must say that Suhag ji is a regular on the right stand on my show, but she's not here. But yes, Mihir.
Yeah, I think Anandji, thanks again for having us, and greetings for belated Diwali for all the viewers. I come from a background, a patriotic background. My parents came from India in 1969. My great-grandfather was a Gujarati poet, Zaverchand Meghani, and then Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhiji was a distant relative as well. But growing up in this country, I realized that we had many organizations that were doing religious work, temples. We had many gurus that were focusing on spirituality. And there were organizations back in the 70s, 80s sending money to India. But we didn't have anybody speaking to American policymakers, legislators, journalists, and others about who we are as Hindus, not just as individuals, but who we are as a 5,000-year-old civilization, the oldest large civilization still remaining that's kept most of our religion and culture intact, with an uninterrupted history and connection to the land of Bharat and to our religion, which we can call Sanatan Dharma or Hinduism. And so when I went through my younger days, growing up in this country, going to Hindu youth camps, being involved in college and Hindu Students' Council and other Hindu groups, we realized we needed to set something up, and the established groups didn't want to. So 20 years ago, we set up the Hindu American Foundation to be a voice for Hindus in America, but also to be a voice for Bharat, our civilization, in the country which is the most powerful country in the world, which is the United States. That's basically, in short, the history of why HF was founded. We were committed that if we wanted to do justice to this 5,000-year-old civilization, millions of Hindus who died to protect all of us in India, regardless of our religious background or what religion we are, to practice our beliefs in freedom, to live in democracy, for all the sadhus and others who kept our traditions alive, we needed to have a professional voice. We can't be a professional voice for 1.4 billion Bharatiyas, for 1.4 billion Hindus, unless we professionalize it. I can't come home from the hospital at 7 p.m. and say, I'm going to be on email for 90 minutes and the work's done. So we committed that we wanted a professional group. 20 years later, we have around 18 staff. We have a budget of $2.5 million. We're going to get to $5 million. And we have a lot more work to do. And we have great staff members like Sangeeta on our team.
So one of the recent challenges, so let's come, he's talked about the history a bit, and that takes a lot of commitment. You've just pledged some more money, we're given to understand, so you're increasing the entire corpus of this caucus, if I may say, to about $5 million. But one of the recent challenges has been the SB 403. Now, who's pushing this? What's the narrative? And how were you able to, get it vetoed?
Yeah. So, basically, SB 403 was introduced sometime back in February, and it was introduced in the California Assembly by a freshman senator, Aisha Wahab, and it has the support of a for-profit organization called as Equality Labs. And, I came to know about it as a regular citizen. I have a HR background prior to joining HAF, and I'm also been a homeschooling parent. I am a mother of 2 girls myself. And so when I came to know through the community that there is a bill that's being introduced here in California, which insinuates that everybody from South Asia always has a caste lens when they are in the workplace or when they are interacting with community members, I was beyond shocked. I still remember the first night I heard it and I couldn't sleep because we as immigrants come to this country to build a good life for ourselves, especially those of us from South Asia. We come here for higher education. We contribute immensely to the universities here. I myself came for my master's. And then we are, top producers in our communities, whether it's our businesses or our industries that we work in. And suddenly, out of the blue, somebody is coming and saying that each and every one of you is a casteist, and you are only looking at everybody else through a caste lens, and that we are either oppressors or oppressed.
So this caste lens was limited only to the Hindu caste groups, or did this Aisha Wahab and the Equality Labs also highlight Ismaili, Sunni, Shia, and all the other sects as far as Islam is concerned, or the about 30 odd different sects and castes which are there in Christianity is concerned? Yeah. Was this across religions, or was this largely framed towards it is the Hindus' work? They say South Asia, but they're focusing focuses on Bharat.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. The language of the bill, while it was specifically saying South Asia, implicitly it would have been the Hindu groups that would have got affected. And you might ask how, right? Because in California and many other states within the country, the very first time anybody reads about Hinduism is in the 6th standard history textbooks when world religion is introduced. And if you look at the textbooks, while they do give a fair share of what the contributions of Christianity and Islam and all of the religions have beautifully contributed to art and technology and science and humanities, Hinduism is this pyramid, top-down pyramid with the Brahmins at the top, the Dalits at the bottom, and Hinduism is equal to the caste system. So, what I'm trying to say is, most of the people here in this country know about the Hindu faith through the textbooks that they have studied in the school system or through media, which limits Hinduism to cow, caste, and curry. Right?
So the curry boys, curry girls, the slurs that have happened in the past.
Exactly.
So that's how the association.
Yes.
But this is devious, isn't
yes,
it?
It is.
So if I can bring Mihir, now you realized who are these equality labs? Who are these Aisha Wabs? Is she an Indian? Is she born somebody? And is she a victim of this? There are some other elements and other people also limited. Who's backing them and why did they suddenly decide to do it here? There must be a why for all of this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for all our viewers who are in Bharat and India, we have to realize that while the nation has come far in 30 years in terms of tremendous economic growth, being a global and regional player for peace, the only country that could have passed a resolution with Russia, China, United States, and EU, and Ukraine all agreeing on language. India's come far. And so when forces against Bharat cannot destroy India militarily, politically, or economically, they're going to start attacking at the fringes of the civilization. And that's in places like the United States. They'll do it through city council resolutions and laws because they want to keep that attack on. And I think for everyone in Bharat, you know about this because when Pakistan, for example, has not been able to defeat India on the military battlefield, they've supported terrorism.
Yeah.
The forces that came together over the last decade, that have come together and that were together here on this bill are the same ones that the community has been fighting for the last decade. These are terrorist elements. Majority of Sikhs are totally pro-India, but there's a segment, the Khalistanis, we all know about, who have joined together with some Christian evangelical groups. They've joined together with some anti-India Muslim groups and India's extreme left groups to come together and every few years raise a new issue that only seeks to further defame the name of our civilization, India, to defame Hinduism and divide the Indian American community here. We have to realize that this is going to continue because India's not going to disappear as a great civilization. We're back to where India was 300-400 years ago when it was at the top of the world. India won't be defeated militarily. India's not going to be defeated politically. It's too important. So people who want to attack are going to attack in places where they have some sort of a voice. And America, unfortunately, has provided them space like that. And you can see these same forces are coming together, for example, against Israel. They're not standing up with Armenia, another ancient civilization that's our ally here.
So this is a civilizational game. So and that's why it will happen at the grassroots and the attacks will happen there. Now you've successfully been able to counter it because there are different people who've been working at different levels to do it. How are you further organizing ranks, Sangeeta? Are you working with other cohorts or other groups which are coming together? Because largely one of the criticisms is that Hindu groups everywhere are splintered. So within their own community itself, they have some 600 different associations. So how are they all going to come together? So is that happening now? Is there an organizing of ranks that's happening?
So this is a great question, and I think all of us will agree that SB 403 has been a big blessing in bringing the Hindu community together. And in this sense, HAF has very actively worked with all the other Hindu organizations and has really reached out not just across the Hindu community, but across all interfaith communities as well, including the Jewish, the Sikhs, the Buddhists, the Jains, the Christians, the Muslims, non-Hindus, non-white, non-browns, everywhere, because we are a part of this country. I identify myself as a Hindu American, right? And so within the Hindu community, we've gone across various sampradayas, various temples. We have told temples that you need to start speaking up, right? And also just basically telling everybody that this is not about what particular aspect of Hinduism you believe in, but this is after your very identity as a Hindu. And if you do not stand up right now, then the biggest loss is that 2 generations down the line, our kids will not want to do anything with their faith, right? I mean, living and raising families alone is difficult enough in any part of the world, but if somebody is going to go after you in terms of your faith, 2 generations down the line, why would my grandchildren ever want to do anything with the Hindu faith, right? So that was a very big, like an alarm bell for many Hindus across the society. And also, you know, in SB 403 very rawly touched the professionals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, it did. It did.
It was really
Suddenly you're being
about-
educated
yeah.
and they're trying to hold classes and to
exactly.
and the entire Cisco case happened.
And, yeah, and if you see, it came right after the tech recession. I myself was affected by it. My last job, my position was eliminated. And then in my husband's case, he got to keep the job, but his team got fired, right? And so he had to basically do a lot of work. So by the time February the bill was introduced, most tech people, Indian Desis, Desi Americans, Hindu Americans, were working 60-hour plus, you know, jobs, right? And so on top of this, somebody's coming and telling you that this will also be taken away from you because you're always looking at everybody else as a caste lens. I think it, in a way, it was the biggest blessing because you could no longer hide behind your specific, you know, sampradaya or whatever is it that
no, I don't want to get involved. I just want to do my job, live my life, you know, and chase the American dream. So, but that dream itself was being threatened. But yes,
right. But I want to add something. You know, I do want to thank people in India for their support in SB 403. When Sangeeta talked about this coalition that came together, we had leaders, Kashmiri Muslim leaders like Javed Beg, Yana Mir, Sajid Yusuf from Kashmir who wrote to the Board of Education supporting us. We had Sikh leaders across the world, Malayali Christians writing in. So this is not just, you know, Hindus against anti-India forces. This is the community coming together because
so it just became Hindustani, if I may say.
That's right.
Yeah, coming against all those who are.
Co-powered by.
And if you could explain to our viewers what is the future plan from henceforth, sir?
See, I have already explained there are plan A, B, C, D, जो मैं पहले बोल रहा था. Now it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Vertical drilling is going on, horizontal drilling is going on. People are being mobilized, equipments, all machineries, technicians, whatever is required. All experts are there, international, national. So everybody is there. So I hope as soon as, you know, we'll get a headway, and at a time we can only have one activity. So we are going with the securing of lifeline. Then we'll go ahead with the next activity.
So when can the American auger machine come to work, sir?
American auger machine, both the machines are there. You could see one is inside and one is standing outside.
Drilling, sir? When will it start drilling, sir?
As soon as the lifeline is established, because that is our priority, we'll start finish that work and we'll.
So as you heard there, this was Anshu Malik who was speaking, Anshu Manish who was speaking to us at this point in time, and you heard that yes, the work is ongoing. The lifeline pipe is being drilled through at this point in time. Once the lifeline pipe is drilled through, then we can expect that this entire operation of drilling through the American auger machine will come to work. So yes, there is a lot of work that needs to be done. It is going to be a very, very long haul for all these experts who are now sitting over here and trying to make sure that all these people are taken out at the earliest. When will that exact time, exact date come? That is still a big, big question mark. No one has any answers to at this point in time, because the terrain that we are facing at this point in time, this terrain is something that is definitely making it difficult for the rescuers to penetrate through, and hence we are seeing this entire delay that is happening.
वहाँ से वो आ जाएगा यहीं से
there were a lot of challenges that the rescuers worked on. आज सुबह से जो मेरा काम नहीं हो रहा सब जाग and not only this but the machine that is the machine and the pipe that is staying intact even if at all there is some sort of debris that is that is eventually stopped by the now the process of replacing every site has already started and as I mentioned very late.
Good evening, hello and welcome. You're watching Brass Tacks. I'm Anusha Soni. The move of the Yogi government in Uttar Pradesh banning the extra legal certification by some Muslim organization for certain food products has evoked a lot of controversy. The Halal label on biscuits, medicines and other FMCG products is done by some Muslim bodies that have no real statutory authority or power. These are extra legal powers exercised perhaps arbitrarily and without any kind of checks and balances that any system must have. The other layer of the story is also the political tokenism of food certification. Halal is indeed a Sharia concept, applicable only to the Muslims. There cannot be a generalization of this concept for the